There is a screaming whine as the chair is dragged across the room here of Area 9.
Yep.
And Riston sits himself across from you. You are almost knee to knee with the way he's leaning forward here. He's got 3 guards who have occupied sort of the main area here. The bartender has been ushered out, and no guests are coming or going. There's a guard standing next to Megan, one at the bar, one at the leftmost table, kind of watching the door. But Riston knows these men. He trusts these men. He knows that no one's going to come or go if he has his back turned to them.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are on you. Megan sits behind you, just over your right shoulder. The guard that's behind you is kind of more keeping an eye on him.
Yep.
Riston sort of leans in, kind of touching his fingertips together. Arthan, it is wonderful that you're here. I think that's a riddle I want answered. You want to start?
Well, do you remember that metaphor you told me when you took me aboard the Wanderer all those years ago?
Metaphor?
You said better to lose a hand than to lose your life. When we were discussing what to do when we were discussing why animals chew off their paws in a trap.
Have you been filing your teeth, Arthan?
I had to make a decision. I either died or I went into service for somebody.
And you chose the service of the Imperium. Is that right?
Well,
is that what I'm... He kind of like gestures to the scuffed up armor.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes.
Oh.
I trusted the wrong people, and I ended up getting to hold the bag.
How long it's been? How long have you been holding this bag?
Probably, I'm thinking like 3... Is it about... I think it's about 3 weeks?
Probably about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks I've been holding this bag. It's... And so, better to, lose my dignity than my life at this point. I can get my dignity back later.
If you say so. I think this actually presents a very exciting opportunity for me and for your house, who's sorely missed you all these years.
Uncle Riston, if my father or my brother missed me, I will eat my cape. If either of my 2 brothers, I should say. Sorry. If either of my 2 brothers, my father, or my mother missed me, I will eat my cape. For my father made it abundantly clear. Let's see, what was the wording he used? You are nothing but a bastard, a blight, and a drain upon this family's reputation, honor, and resources. And I shall be grateful to be rid of you. Oh. The only kindness in this family that I've ever received has been from you, Uncle Barian, your daughter, and the house servants. Outside of them, my treatment by this family has been, how shall we say, less than stellar.
Then your alliances grow thin. Poor Barian's short one wife, and I'm short my home.
Wait, Uncle Barian has...
Verona Osrine ran her through with an Idrine blade. took her soul, took her ship. Barion's been beside himself ever since, raving about revenge and the like.
But that's very Oh.
Oh, he's lost himself.
Uncle Barion was a man of honor, a man of principle. If anything, he was the most... No offense to you, Uncle Riston, he was the most stable person in the household.
Oh, you should see the ink he's put on himself.
Oh, no.
The summoning circles and the like.
Oh.
It's haunting, even for me. But that's...
Oh, boy.
I didn't come here to answer your questions.
Yes, you just see Arthan's just like, one hand is covering half his face as his face slowly is like...
The truth is... One, I came here because I didn't believe your dead little friend. I thought the description he gave and, well, the mercenary he was describing, it tweaked a thread in my memory from some time after you left. You see, we do keep tabs on our own. At least, I like to. I thought, what are the odds that Arthan Adrian could find his way all the way out here? And here you are. So my questions aren't so much to do with you as they are to do with your employers.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you been sent here? Why are you looking for me?
Actually, my employers are not looking for you. I was looking for you because I figured, well, Uncle Riston, you've always had an admirable finger on the pulse of all information and gossip in the land. You know who's doing what, who's doing who with whom, and you know who's paid off by who. You know every dirty little secret from here to the Great Forest.
So you've come to me to learn a secret.
Yeah, not a secret so much as the location of a pot-bellied kobold.
A pot-bellied kobold.
Yes.
Like the one that escaped the Iron Forest some time ago.
Exactly.
Around the time you found yourself in the employ, I would imagine, of these Imperial agents.
Long story short, the kobold and his compatriots are the reason I was originally with them. Then I got left. And then they blew their escape attempt. And because of them blowing their escape attempt, I ended up the prisoner of the Cinder Prince.
He sits back, and this strange smile kind of comes across his face. So, you're Rue Kellen. Lehem has spoken much of you, but not to me. You see, Lehem and Melody and the others, most notably Julian, though I'm told he didn't go by that name so often, I'm told that they're in Pinbury at this moment and have been corralled into potentially meeting with our family to discuss, perhaps, making their way into an adventuring party of sorts. I think I can figure out why the Empire is looking for them. But again, I find that fate has twisted itself in a neat little circle. That you should come here just the day after my daughter tells me of all of this.
You know what they say, Ristel weaves a strange web some days.
That he does. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with you yet, Arthan. You are wearing the cloak of the enemy after all.
Well,
normally, it would be Adrian custom to relieve you of that along with the rest of your skin. But I'm touched by your words. I did care for your well-being in your time with our family. You could say, perhaps, part of me was hurt by your absence. But the truth is, I think you're very useful right where you are now. Mysterious webs indeed. Which member of the Iron Hand are you serving?
I kind of, at this point, I feel like it's a pretty obvious Megan is my handler, I'd imagine. I glance over at Megan of like...
Megan gives you this look of just like confused fear.
Okay. Look, Uncle, I'm willing to tell you, but one of the reasons I took a position with him, besides saving my life, was I figured the Imperium and our family have been at odds at different points.
Oh, indeed.
But remember what you said. In every circumstance lies opportunity. And in this case, I see opportunity in that we have a chance to turn and make it so that the power of the Imperium might back our house for once.
You've been away a long time, Arthan. Tensions aren't just with the Osrians anymore. We've been contending with the Imperium for quite some time. The time is drawing nearer for us to use our most powerful weapons. I fear, in time, there will be dragons to call and villages to burn. The Osrians, I'm convinced, felled one of our dragons. That Lehem was a kobold of his. Things are growing dim south of here.
Uncle, if this conversation is to continue, perhaps it is best that Megan is in the other room for it. Unless, of course, you happen to have someone who can cast a memory charm on him.
So it turns over to Megan. Satyr, think you're going to survive tonight? Megan is sort of, says, yeah, we'll get to you. Kind of motions to the guard, and the guard will kind of pull him out back into your quarters, which are directly north through both doors.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll kind of... at that, the guard at the bar is going to move over just north of you, kind of guarding the door before the rooms. Riston sort of, say what you will.
To be frank, I took a position with the Imperium for a very specific reason.
And what reason was that?
To separate my father's head from his shoulders and to take my place, leading his section of the family.
Make me, I assume, a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm. And to do it all, unfortunately, I did not have the backing of the family, therefore I needed another powerful backer.
Roll me that persuasion.
19.
19. His gaze narrows. And there's that first simmering hint of anger. Kinry is many things. Seducible. A little aloof. But he is Riston's brother. Riston sort of narrows his eyes. What a broken thing you are, Arthan. But I do believe you. I just think words like that can get people killed. Especially with all my father is saying. Our family's supposed to be one.
Where was that line when my father kept me locked away and told the tutors to not even bother with me? Bought anyone from teaching me. Hid me away from the world. I left because I knew where I was not wanted, and I figured I would go off, gain skills, come back with a new name, new face, work my way up from the family and prove to him he was wrong. And then the Imperium came knocking with an offer where, well, I'm sorry, Uncle Riston, I'm being as terribly blunt with you as I am, for you told me the one thing to never do with you was to lie.
And the best you could manage. Revenge. You leaned into every fear that your house had of you.
I am what they made me.
Let's see if you're what I made you. Who captains the ship that owns you?
The Silver Dragon.
Batil.
As far as bosses go, he's not the worst I've had.
Wonderful. You might tell him that you saw me here. It might be tempting for you. And if I let you go, I'm sure you'll cook up some half-truth about me, regardless of whether your friend lives or dies. But before you go doing that, I want to make something clear.
Yes.
I'm sparing you here.
I'm well aware of that, Uncle. I glance at the all of the wood elves in the room right now.
And I'm not just sparing you because you're my nephew. I'm sparing you, kind of like leans in, as an investment.
I assume this means you'll want me to change paths away from revenge.
I'm not saying you ever have to meet with Kinry again. I'm not sure you ever will. I'm duty-bound to inform my daughter of this, and I'm sure she'll come running to her uncle to inform him of the situation. And at that point, well, your little secret will be out. You went a very long time without enacting any sort of revenge that any of us were aware of. Whatever state you lived in then, go back to it. If that's Rukellen, so be it. But Arthan Idrine can live in a world where Kinry isn't at his throat. Make that so.
All right, Uncle. You taught me many tough lessons on that ship ride. I'm prepared to learn many more from you.
Good. Kanalik claps his hands together. I'm happy that we crossed paths here. I wish I could be so bold as to spirit you away on another cross-island adventure, but I really don't have the time. The matter at hand is now the Imperial slime we've got in your bedchambers.
Yes, vegan. I actually had a thought of that. Perhaps this was might I suggest is, well, Uncle, you have quite the reputation.
Do I?
One of precision ruthlessness. And what I think is we might be able to take advantage of that. Look, honestly, what I'm asking you to do is beat the shit out of me and Megan. Leave us alive, but beat the shit out of us, so that way, when we go back to the Silver Dragon, we can say that we tried to track you down in order to find the information he requested, and when we did find you, you were not too pleased to see your arrogant bastard of a nephew. and decided to teach me a lesson as to be so bold as to seek you out, and was spared for the fact that while I was tainted blood, I was still blood.
Half-truths make the best lies, do they not? I had considered such an act. But you could say I have a soft spot for the younger members of our house. Kind of like draws this thin dagger with a hilt, kind of like with little knobs in it, almost spider-like, like the leg of a spider.
Yeah.
And kind of like taps it against his forehead. Whatever happens, it's not going to be by my hand that Idrian blood will be spilt. I didn't come here halfway across the realm for anything remotely like that. I'm going to go deal with Megan.
Question, Uncle. Are you going to have to tell Ilne of my intentions for my father now that I have agreed to forswear them evermore on pain of the web of fate?
Ooh, I didn't hear the oath last time.
I'm willing to swear that I will not kill him. I won't make a promise about not punching him in his smug face, but I will make a promise not to kill him, nor try to usurp his station if you believe that second one is necessary, but I can promise no, I will not shed his blood.
You make your oaths. Keep them if you feel like it. But keep them to yourself. I won't be caught unawares because a child such as you made an oath and broke it. I have something better. I'm not threatening you with death here. What I can do is threaten you with another smaller piece of information. I know who your mother is. And I'm not sure if that's something you care about. But let's put it this way. I'm not going to be in Yarhar forever.
Arthan sits back in his chair and just glances at the ground and goes, Uncle, you know I've sought that information my whole life. You've had it this whole time?
I've been piecing things together. Let's put it this way. Things are moving very quickly in Pinberry right now. I've had suspicions for a long time, but right now I'm keeping them to myself. When things erupt, and they will erupt, I fear it will be from within. There are cults brewing. A number of mishaps have been plaguing the city. But you and I are going to meet again. And it's important to me that my brother lives.
I promise upon the web of fate that I shall not murder that two-faced bastard.
Sort of smiles, but kind of like shaking his head. No, Arthan. Whatever oath you make is yours. I'm not going to question it. I'm promising you that I'll help you with the information you seek, so long as my brother lives. Whatever oath you make, kind of like waves his hand almost dismissively. I'm not sure it's worth it right now, but I know my information is. If you'll excuse me, kind of like stands up, there's another screech as the chair moves back. I've got some marks to make on this satyr fellow. My men will attend to you.
Of course, Uncle. I would, at a later time, I would like to know what the path might be that I could be restored to the Idrian family.
Oh, pivoting, are we?
Well, you said, as the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them.
Oh. Well, you might not be able to beat House Idrian, but as you're about to find out, he kind of motions to the guards and then steps through the door. as these two thugs kind of start to converge on you. He kind of like shouts out from beyond the door. All right then. Nothing to damage his features. We want him to be recognizable after all.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess up his singing voice. So no teeth, please.
Mm-hmm.
As the guards converge on you. We will fade out.
Arthan does not resist, does not scream, does not shout, and takes the beating as his master taught him to.
Ooh, cold, but yes. It's not long.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird way, they're not doing this to inflict pain or gather information out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You were left bruised and bleeding. Please reduce your HP by... I'll roll 2 little dice here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. By 16.
That puts me unconscious.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, you will come to an hour later with 1 HP.
Okay.
It is late at night.
Mm-hmm.
When you do come to,
Mm-hmm.
Riston is nowhere to be found.
Did Riston's thugs take any of my things?
No. You were left with whatever belongings you had. There is one of his men stands, kind of just watching you from across the bar. The bartender's back, kind of like eyeing you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thug kind of like looks to you as you're kind of coming to, still very groggy. Has a bottle in his hand, pointing with one little pinky finger out. You're lucky. The one you sent to get us got an Adrian's welcome. You think on that. And he kind of like makes his way out. Sort of just there to make sure you come conscious.
I walk over to the bartender
Yep.
and I just look him in the eye and I drop... I'm actually gonna... I can't believe I'm doing this, but yes. I drop 10 gold coins on the counter.
Yeah.
And I just look at him and I'm like, what you saw tonight, what happened here tonight, did not happen.
The barkeep here kind of like looks down at them without a word, kind of like pulls them in, kind of like puts them into a little bag, seals it, kind of like motions you to your room.
Arthan limps from the room, his right leg dragging behind him slightly.
Okay, you make your way back to your room.
Mm-hmm. I open the door.
Yeah. Through 2 sets of doors, you are now kind of like in. Make me a perception check.
Megan, tell me he didn't kill you. That is going to be a perception check. That's an 11.
It's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Megan is bruised. His hands bound by rope. Kind of just sits there, kind of, Arthan?
I pull my dagger out and I cut his bonds.
Kind of splits. They broke my bow, Arthan. Yeah. That's your uncle?
And as I say yes, I use healing word on him.
Yeah.
And that's going to give him back 5 HP.
Nice.
Yes. Blood's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I prefer to keep mine inside, but, if we want to make jokes out of it, yeah, I guess so. I think we should get back to the ship maybe tomorrow.
I think we should head back tonight.
Tonight? Yeah.
Best in case my uncle decides to send the thugs back to teach me another lesson for dare poking my nose in E-Dream business.
You think he's gonna do that?
I don't know, but Megan, look, you've been good to me.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather not have you die so that my uncle could teach me a lesson about sticking my nose where it doesn't belong.
Oh, I hope he doesn't know that you like me. That would be awkward.
The Silver Dragon was right. It was foolish to seek out my uncle.
We got something on the kobold, though, didn't we?
Yes.
But he's not in Yarhar.
He's not in Yarha. My uncle was willing to give me the information. In his words, he's like, you may be tainted blood, but you're blood, so I will grant you this one favor.
Megan starts to
and he gave us our lives, so we should be grateful for that.
Yes. As you're saying this, Megan is going over and picking up the splinters of his bow.
I look at the bow, I'm like, oh, Megan, how much did that bow cost you?
Oh, it's Imperial issue. It didn't cost me anything, but Batil's gonna be upset if he sees it.
Well, you know what? We can tell him it was the cost of getting his information.
Yeah, okay, if you say so. We getting out of here?
I think we best. I've already paid off the bartender, told him he didn't see a thing.
Alright.
I was thinking for a moment, should I take the bounty off of Lahem, or should we just leave the bounty on him? I'm honestly tempted to just leave the bounty on him in case he gets away from us.
Despite himself, the situation that he's in, Megan kind of gives a half-hearted smirk. Yeah, let's let him find out about this. That's the trouble he's been worth, right?
I say let him. If he runs away and he comes back here seeking help, he'll find himself in a cell. Oh, okay, it hurts to laugh.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Okay, let's...
Megan will lead the way. He's got a pretty decent walk speed. Are you trying to stealth your way out?
Nope, we're just gonna limp by. We're just gonna limp out.
You stumble out throughout the dark.
Yep. Actually, we're gonna stealth enough that we're not trying to hide from the bar people that we're leaving. We're trying to hide from the street thugs that we are injured and limping through the streets right now.
So you will make stealth checks when you're out on the street. Cool.
My stealth is 14.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this much. With a 24, Megan is leading this stealth charge.
Nice.
He keeps you as stealthy as he can. You don't have disadvantage from your...
Nope.
Right? Okay.
Because I specifically took half plate.
Instead of breastplate.
I know, sorry, the breastplate, because that makes it so you don't have disadvantage.
Does it really?
Yeah, breastplate does not give you disadvantage. Because it's just the breastplate.
Oh. Yes, I get you. So you make your way down through the uneven, sloping streets of Yarhar.
Megan, let's do ourselves a favor. Let's never come back here again.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will. I was at home on the ship. I'm only here because you are.
Megan, maybe it's best we ask that I get a new minder, or maybe I take some sort of magical oath to bind me or something, because I don't want to put you in this situation again.
Well, whatever the case, I just need to spend a few days below deck, I think. At this, you've kind of come out to the docks.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of little rowboats and schooners kind of set up.
Yep.
Megan sort of, are we taking one?
Well, that's just... didn't we park ours at the end, or do we park ours over here? Which one was ours again?
Kind of looking back and forth here. Make a perception check. With disadvantage, because in dim light...
That's going to be a 12.
A 12. Takes you a few minutes. Kind of going back and forth here until eventually it's oh, there it is, right at the edge of my vision. You make your way in.
Okay.
Megan sort of undoing the rope on it.
Yep.
Sort of, alright, I'm gonna row us. Kind of starts to row back. He will actually pass you an oar.
Yep, and we'll do the tandem row.
Yes. Perhaps bringing this little arc full circle where you've traded rowing, and now it's the both of you rowing back. When you are out about 15, call it 20 minutes.
Yeah.
These glowing flames ignite, each about 5 feet above the surface of the water.
Oh.
Do you hear?
Oh.
Who goes there? These guards are just kind of peering over here.
I say, Arthan, Idrine, and his minder, Megan.
Megan sort of, hey. They're oh, you're a mess.
We might be a mess, but we have the information the Silver Dragon asked for.
They're going to throw down some ropes here, and they will kind of hoist you guys up.
Yeah, I just climb up the rope.
As you are preparing, they've already announced your arrival here. The Silver Dragon, in all of his finery, marches across the deck.
Even though I am in great pain, Arthan comes up to full attention and salutes the captain. as just blood is leaking out his left side.
You look unwell.
That does not matter until my report is filed. After my report is given, sir, I am going to ask your permission to go collapse in the infirmary.
Sort of like motions for you to follow him.
I follow him.
He will sit you down.
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving a specific report, or just the general accounting of events?
Yeah, I just explained to him how we were with great success. Since he's already heard all the other reports and stuff, I hand over the bag full of cash, the 212 gold.
Yeah.
The gold that from the strip, and I also toss in the copper and the silver into the bag as well. I hired a kobold, got him to find my uncle, and well, you were right, sir. Finding him was a terrible idea. But because he finds me amusing, I did get the information from him. But my impertinence cost both me and Megan some blood and bones and a bit of internal bleeding. But I know where Lem and those he travels with are. They're in Pinberry.
As you deliver this information, the Silver Dragon is largely unemotive. He's just kind of like taking this in, nodding occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a candle kind of between you, and he's got like a small little cup of something that he keeps kind of sipping at. As you say this, Pinbury, his face kind of turns in the fire. It seems your house has grown more brazen. No fault of yours, but everywhere I look, I see Edrines causing trouble for us.
It's something of a family specialty.
Isn't it just? Well, closer people than us will be dealing with the Edrines, or your companions first. We'll see about the Edrines and where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be Orn. There's been talk of sending him to potentially clear out Imperial assets from the city. We've got a few there now.
Wait, you're not going to use a dragon on Pinberry, are you?
He motions his hand. Never. A dragon's power lies in our mutual inability to use it. If one of us, be it Imperial, Osrine, Edrine, Adarellen, if one of us, any of us, were to use a dragon, that would be the end of their power. For it would be everyone's power. And everyone's folly. And all the land would weep in flame. Kind of motions, etc., etc.
And the dwarves would laugh a hearty laugh at us.
I'm sure they would. It would be our own storming dream. However, it is, you'll forgive me, but beneath me to speak politics with you, who are, in a way, awaiting your trial and potential execution.
I understand, my lord.
Of course. For the time being, you're going to get some rest. This little folly, looking for the kobold, it set us very far away from where I would find myself most useful.
Of course, sir.
So we're going to travel back to the coast, back to Imperial waters, and we are going to do good, honest Imperial work. And you're going to learn how to be something closer to a sailor, and something closer to a knight of the Imperium.
I understand, my lord.
Yes, and there won't be any more mucking about in kobold cities, fighting pits, all of that. That will be all from me.
Yes, my lord.
Kind of like nods to you to leave.
Just Arthan clearly wants to get up, but his legs are at this point just like, sir, this is embarrassing, blood loss is starting to set in.
He will kind of like stand up, and with how your relationship has gone with the Silver Dragon, it opened with threats of torture and interrogation. There's been a lot of like, a lot of coercing you to do stuff. There's that attempted kind of murder with the fighting pit. You forget often that he is a knight who is seen by many parts of the Imperium as noble. So when he does show courtesy, it's a little off-putting, but he helps you to your feet.
Thank you.
And he will go so far as to lead you down to the bunks.
I attempt to give the proper bow of respect, as there's a small pained grimace on his face as he bows.
Very graciously, kind of like nods his head. He doesn't quite bow, but it's a very like a very flamboyant acknowledgement. As you make your way, yes, and collapse into your bed.
I don't even collapse. I like push through the door into the infirmary, and as I cross the threshold, Arthan, just his whole body gives out with exhaustion and blood loss.
Yes. When you awaken.
Yep.
You awaken to a cold, sunny day. Winter is heavy in the air. Heavy enough that you can see your breath. There's a little bit of frost in the shadows of the ship. But you awaken healthy.
How long was I out for?
There is a high elf kind of like scribbling some notes down on a page, a piece of parchment here. Sort of, well, it's mid-afternoon. You slept, that's something.
How many days?
Oh, well. You've been in and out, if I'm being honest. It's been... Sort of, sorry, I'm shifting in here.
Of course.
I want to say in and out for the last 2-3 days? 2 days, 2 days, not too bad.
Arthan starts to slowly try to pull the blanket off of him as he tries to swing his feet off.
Sort of, whoa, okay, I can give you a hand there.
I can't earn my redemption if I'm laying in the infirmary.
Sort of gives you a quizzical look. Redemption? Well, where's this coming from? From what they said about me, you're looking at an execution in a few days. I mean, I get taking it easy, but...
Look, once the axe separates my head from my body, it's over. Up until that point, with every breath I have, I am seeking to prove to the Imperium that I am an asset, not a liability.
He is taken aback by your words. This sort of looks to be like a young cleric, kind of dark-haired, but high elven features. Yes, well, I'll let you get going then. Your handler was in here checking on you.
Megan, he's good?
Yes, he slept most of it off. Didn't seem like you're kind of like checking the notes. Your uncle was as hard on him.
Yep. Always had a soft spot.
There's a... as Megan sort of like waddles in, all bandaged up, kind of like there's bandages around his face, around his kind of like covering his chest. Sort of, hey!
Arthan tries to stand up and failing, sits back down and just salutes him from a sitting position.
Arthan, that was an adventure, hey?
Yes, I'm ready to get back to the nets now.
All right. Let's get on it then. I'll supervise you. I'm still a little out of it, but I can walk, so.
All right. As I start to get up, I'm like, hey, do you have anything? We'll put a little pep back in my step.
Have anything?
No, I'm looking at the cleric.
Oh, yeah. Cleric sort of like, let's see what I can do for you. Kind of starts going through, there's all these little tinctures and potions that he's kind of like flipping through here. I've got a small tonic here. Kind of like pops it off here. I'll say you have had the benefits of a long rest, but I'll say that he gives you a little potion to help with your exhaustion.
Yeah.
You can knock that back, and that'll get you mechanically back to full.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it
Why
tastes
does
pretty... Yeah.
Why does that taste like seaweed?
Well, it's an old sea elven tincture. It's comes from a sea serpent, I believe.
Oh, please don't tell me it's piss.
No. It's the raw fat that's
That's okay. That's
mashed
a
into
little
your
better.
ooze.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
of course, yeah. If you'll be off,
Yep. Arthan
Shakes
off
his
his hand. Yeah, thank you.
of course.
As he heads up deck, and he cleans off his uniform with prestidigitation, so it's nice and perfect.
Yes.
He puts his breastplate and other equipment back into his footlocker.
Yeah.
And then goes up top with only pants and a shirt on, rolling up his sleeves and his pant legs.
Yes. Make me. I believe last time it was a survival check.
Yes.
Megan is helping you as best he can.
Yep.
So you can make it with advantage.
Okay. That's a 15.
15. You hold your own.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes on, another 4-5 days of it, life seems to settle into a calmer routine than you knew before.
Yep.
Even the silver dragon seems easier on you after seeing the way your uncle treated you. There's pity, and there is almost a sadness in his eyes when he gets your reports in the day. Almost enough to shed that grim fate that's kind of looming up on you.
Arthan, by the way, is working as hard as he can, scrubbing decks, going down to the kitchen, scrubbing pots. Like, he is doing whatever is asked of him and more.
Like your life depends on it. There comes one fateful day. The word comes in. The silver dragon will be making for Pelrelis by means of the Southern Passage, where Megan gives you sort of a sad few words. Oh, Arthan, I know what that means. If they're gonna try you, it's gonna be there. We might have some stops on the way, maybe Sunshadow or Ildaril. I'll make sure to get you drinks or something.
In other words, I'm going to trial, is what you're saying for sure, Megan?
Oh, I think so, but, I mean, if they're gonna call people up, I'll be there. And maybe one of those folks who got passage with us might be there.
Megan, don't put your career at stake for my life.
Well, it's not my career, it's just, they're gonna want an honest word, and I'll give them one. You're a champion to me, Arthan.
Megan, politicians don't want an honest word. What they want to hear is who they have to blame for a situation. There is a key prisoner missing. A dragon slayer prisoner, no less. Someone's head needs to roll. And who better than the bastard son of the Edreens?
This kind of, like, helplessness comes over his face as he sort of leans in. Arthan, I don't know your whole story, and I'm sure it's a long one. You're elvish, after all.
I'm a young elf. I'm only 50.
Oh, fair enough.
Actually,
But
am I 50? How old am I again?
You are in your, like, mid to late 70s, I think.
I think I'm 70. I was 50 when I left here.
Yes.
I'm 70 now. But look, Megan, don't you worry about me. I am sure that whatever may happen, that the Fate Weaver has me well in hand. I've not always been the most pious of Ristel's followers, but I've trusted the spider.
Arthan, I have one question. And, again, I don't know your whole story or where all the circumstances were. Do you... You turned yourself in to Orn, the Cinder Prince. Like, you spoke and went with him. And the rest of your party, they scattered. Do you think you did the right thing?
I had a chance to learn at the feet of Orin. That is what it was a unique opportunity, a chance to gain honor and renown within the Imperium. I hoped to use that honor and renown to prove to my family that even a bastard, tainted blood, could be of use. And if they wouldn't have me, I hoped the Imperium would have me.
As he's kind of like mulling this over, Megan kind of like repeats the question, kind of like leans in, but do you think you made the right decision?
Megan, until I die, I will never know fully if I made the right decision. All I know is if what the priests say is true about Ristel, then my fate has already been sealed by his web, and that I am currently walking the path he desires me to walk.
Oh, well. I guess I get it then. You used to go by Rue. And doesn't seem like it's something that you make a habit of, so maybe it's an ironic name.
Rue, I wanted them to rue the day they thought that I was of no use.
Well,
Bit melodramatic and a little egotistical, don't you think? Arthan says with a wry grin.
well, a name that doesn't fit sometimes fits better than one that does. You know? I mean, I can't speak for Megan, but a name like yours, regret, to not have some, to let that stop at your name, I think that means something all on its own.
You're an interesting fellow, Megan.
Oh, well, I hope so. Not as interesting as you, mind you. I didn't come on this ship expecting to die and then get in a bunch of fights and find my uncle and get all beat up, but...
Look, it's fine, Megan. Look, I think it's probably best if at this point you start putting some distance between us for your own safety, unless the continued supervision, but maybe our nightly drinks might have to stop for a while. Best to not be associated with a committer of treason and high crimes against the Empire, eh?
Well, if you say so, I don't want to...
Megan, I will accept your testimony at my trial. Just know that it might carry political consequences for you, such as you being held back from being further promoted, or from good assignments. But if you wish to testify, and on my behalf, I will happily accept your testimony.
Well, I'll mull that over. It's a long journey to get to Pauelis from here.
Any chance of us pulling up a map on the old Roll20 so I can see exactly where we're at?
I can show you a quick map of whereabouts we're at. As I rotate my laptop around. We're in Yarhar. Yeah. You're making your way south in. So it would have been... Actually, even now you would only be... You'd still be visibly within the pin of the swooping straits.
And then I take it we're going to go south
past Sunshadow.
Paldaris, and then we'll go to Palaurelis.
Yes. However, as you were just about sitting in that little IN, Megan sort of, well, it's been a hard day's work, Arthan. You just get some sleep and we'll, I'll see if there's anything I can do to sort this out, but you know my standing. I'm rooting for you at the very least.
You're nothing. What was it you said when I first met you? Nothing more than a quartermaster?
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of like distracted more by your fate. He retires for the evening.
Actually, I call after Megan. I'm like, Megan, I don't know what will happen to my effects, but can you see it that the Phoenix mask gets shipped back to the mainland to a fellow by the name of Alistair?
Oh.
Of the masked mercenaries.
Oh, your belongings will be shipped around, all right.
I know some will claim them as spoils, the Imperium will confiscate other items, but I doubt they'll confiscate the mask. If you can just ensure that gets back to my master, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure we can manage that. Sleep, trance lightly and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We still got a few days before we get there. And he heads out.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, as you've settled into this more average routine, this night, and the reason we focus on it, is an evening where things go just a little differently. And fate twists itself in a slightly new direction. Because that night, you have something like a dream. And there's a tiefling standing before you.
Is it another memory?
It is indeed.
Oh, goody.
This tiefling, the name of which I'm going to pronounce horribly, Arthan, he looks to you. All right, Arthan. You go, ring that bell. Kind of like gestures, and behind you through this fog, some of it the fog of memory, you can see this church bell. It's a busy day. People are coming and going. So you'll have to lie your way in. In fact, how about you choose the building? And as he says this, the fog peels, and there are churches all along this row, this whole street here. You pick one. A good one. Sneak your way in. You're gonna ring a bell. You're gonna use one of your spells to make it the most horrible sound. Kind of like a smile slits his face. You're gonna drive these guys out. Alistair told me to give you a test, and I'm not one for trivial things, but this seems a good opportunity to put your scheming mind to work.
I look out at the churches. And is there any church that looks... I look for churches of denominations that are particularly trusting, such as the Church of Lyra and others that are less battle-focused, more caring. I wouldn't dare break into I wouldn't dare break into, a Temple of Torm or a Temple of Bahamut.
Make me a religion check.
That is going to be a solid... I need a religion that gives people the benefit of the doubt is what I need. Religion. 13.
13 will not do it. They all look pretty samey. But at this point in your memory, Arthan, the tiefling, has kind of vanished.
Yep.
And it seems you may have to choose one at random.
I look for one where there's a line of beggars receiving food.
Okay, make a perception check.
14.
14 will tie the DC for this. You are able to find one with several beggars. It is worth noting at this point in your memory, churches of Lyra were not widespread. So you can only assume, given the kind of like grove in front of this building, that it is a church of Eldath.
Eldath. Okay, Eldath. Okay, we can do Eldath. I quickly take my clothes. I look. Is there a side alley?
Yes.
I go into the side alley and take my whole set of clothes, and I dunk myself in a rain barrel.
Okay.
Take my clothes and then rip them against some of the nails jutting out from any of the buildings. Catch them on bits of the building and rip it.
Okay.
And then pull my hood up.
Yep.
And hunch my back, and with a bit of a shuffle, go and join the line of beggars.
Okay. your goal here is to make your way inside.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say your call, deception or stealth check.
I will take deception on this one.
Okay.
Do I want to take deception? Yes, I want to take deception on this one.
Sure.
13.
13. As you make your way along here, you receive bread and a small bowl of kind of like a watery soup. And as you kind of break away from the line, you can see that like spiraling stair up to the bell tower. But as you begin to move towards it, there's a heavy hand on your shoulder. A thump. And your memory goes hazy here as you just remember being wheeled and dragged out of the building. Gently but firmly. And sort of more placed outside. Hey, don't go causing no trouble. It's this very, very sturdy elf. Kind of like staring down at you. You got your food and drink, leave it at that.
I just bow.
You bow? This was yet another of your many trials with the Master Mercenaries.
Yep.
This one you did not succeed. Take from it whatever lesson you will, but in many ways, your experiences over the last few days mirror this. After all, your submission to the wills of Ristol are seemingly what got you here. Perhaps that too was a day of fate. Perhaps your failure there is why the gods have been kind to you. It's hard to say. You're awoken. As Megan sort of has his arm on your shoulder. Arthan, you're not gonna believe this. We're changing course.
What?
We're taking our time. We're gonna take a couple days maybe. I'm not sure the details yet. We're going to Silspree?
Silspree?
He's like hushing you. The word hasn't fully gone out yet. Orin, the Cinder Prince. Something's wrong. We're not sure what, but we've been ordered to go there.
Wait, we're going to the... Why on earth would the Silver Dragon and the Cinder Prince head to the back-ass end of nowhere? So Silspree is the Hicks of the sticks here.
So well, that's where they found you, isn't it?
Let's be real here. I'm not exactly a golden egg. A golden goose. Golden dragon sword. Never mind. I'm not exactly the cream of the crop here. I was a pickpocket back there. I was taking low rent contracts.
Well, it seems serious, and if it is serious, that means there could be a fight. And a lot of, he kind of like lowers his voice. A lot of people die in fights. Some people die and aren't seen again or accounted for. I'm not putting any ideas. You might want to stick around.
I just lean in and go, Megan, I appreciate it. The problem is, I don't want to hide from who I am anymore. I don't want to wear a mask anymore. I want to be able to proudly walk through the streets as Arthan Idri.
All right. If that's what you want.
That's why I seek to earn my redemption in the eyes of the Imperial law.
Okay. Well, look, we'll just have to start with small streets. Imperial streets, Silspree's Imperial streets. So it's better than Yarhar, safer than Yarhar from what I understand. But just one step at a time. We're going there. That's better than Paurelis. They're not going to try you up north.
Yes.
They're definitely not going to try you in Idrine places. Like, your family wouldn't be having that.
I may be a bastard, but I'm still blood.
It seems to be the phrase of the day, if we're being honest. Hey, it's good news. I just thought I'd let you know.
Alright. Well, I've only had about, I was finished my trance anyways. I assume there are nets that need fixing.
Oh, no. It's still night. I just woke you up middle of the night. I was up late.
You know I only need 4 hours, right?
Well, yeah. But I told people you were still recovering.
No. Look, just take me to the take me to the hold with you, and I'll start fixing the fishing nets that broke yesterday.
Okay. You know, you don't have to be so diligent all the time. You know, take it from me. You know, it's look, no one's gonna think less of you.
Look,
but they might think more of you.
Look, at this point, better... Look, in the eyes of someone like you, it would be better for me to be resting. And if I was trying to impress you, I would be resting. You're not the man I'm trying to impress.
You got me there. Alright, this way.
Just bring me to the fishing nets. I'll get back to work on those.
Yes, as Megan leads you along to the fishing nets, you have many days of travel ahead of you until you reach this new destination. Fate has been twisting you down a variety of different paths here.
I can see that.
To your uncle, away from Lehem, and then towards your own death. And now, in a new direction, to a corner of the world that had some purpose for you once. Close to a month ago now, if not more. However, as you are making your way north, is there anything you would like to do with the time you have?
I would seek to continue to improve my skills at sea to the point where I am an able deckhand. If anything, I'm kind of trying to gain... since I'm trying to honestly gain a proficiency in sea vehicles at this point, honestly. That's what I'm gunning for. So I'm working my hardest to learn everything I can about sailing a ship so that way I can gain proficiency with water vehicles.
Yes. Proficiency, like skill training, takes a very long time.
Oh, aware.
However, I will say that you can get started on that. With the intent that maybe, after a few more legs of travel like this, you might be able to call yourself a sailor. So progress is underway. At this point, through your escapades in Yarhar, and given the fact that we only run sessions with you a fraction of the time as the rest of the party, you gain a level. Would you like to roll HP for this level?
I would.
Please. Present your dice tray and roll thine dice.
The dice tray of doom.
Go for it. Actually, we have a dice tower.
We do have the dice tower. We have the dice tower. We do. Let's use the dice tower for my D8.
Let's
All right.
do it. We'll make the clickety clacks.
Oh, you know what? Dang!
That's a 2.
That's a 2.
Well,
that's a 2.
On that note, I will leave level 6 up to you.
Okay.
But as Silspree looms, it's uncertain what the future will hold. Though you've made a point of putting your faith in the Idrine god of fate.
I have. I think it's rather poignant, don't you?
Perhaps. There's no telling what new phases approach, but we'll have to find that out next time. As I will call the session there.
Yep.
Good night, listener. You'll be seeing Rue again probably in like several months, given my backlog.
Oh boy. Alright, let me just make an update. I feel bad, I failed 2 of my trainings now.